Two fools who laugh at death. Do you know what horrors lie beyond that wall?
No.
Then you go first.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let our voice be heard. Every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Yeah. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, ThirstTrap. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, ThirstTrap. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
Marcus, you muted or your mic don't work?
Welcome, one and all to another episode of Clickbaity, Political Thirst Trap. I am one half of the dynamic duo and 1/5 of the current team of Clickbaity, Political Thirst Trap. You are now officially rocking with the best Trap Squad, Squirrel Gang, ladies, gentlemen, and non-gender conforming individuals. And I'm rocking with my man, Mondale Robinson. How are you, my brother?
Peace, and more peace. It's all I'm searching for, brother. What's good with you?
Man, just another Tuesday. Man. Hoping that no one gets shot, no one gets killed. Hoping that people stop trying to gaslight us about guns. Hoping that black folks understand what the gun laws are. People of color understand what the gun laws are, so we can and at least be able to talk about it in a sensible way.
Bro, I hate to do this to our show. I hate to do this to the mood. I just screamed about peace, and you just said something that triggered me. You said you hope nobody else gets shot. Man, unfortunately, this morning, Charlotte, North Carolina, at 1 o'clock, around 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock, U.S. Marshals ran up on a brother at a gas station and murked him. In Charlotte, North Carolina, it happened, man. Young man, it was his birthday. It was his 32nd birthday, bro. He had his 8-year-old son in the car. They killed him. One of the cops said they had an altercation at the gas pump, and he felt threatened, so he used deadly force. Well, I hate to bring the news. It happens so often. You know what I'm saying? They killed him,
hey,
bro.
You got the link on that. Would you share that with the team so we can come back to it? Yeah, because that's important, and I'm never going to negate that. But I do want to do something before we get into the seriousness, and we just jumped into the seriousness. Tunde, Mondale hasn't seen the video yet. And as a gamer, as a black male gamer that's in his 40s, that just put down the sticks as much as I used to actually go outside and work out and jump on bikes and go jogging and stuff like that. By the way, jogging is so pointless besides to get your breath better, but you're just walking really fast and breathing hard. But, you know, and you want to hurt your knees. But on the same token, it actually works. I've been losing a little weight here. I wanted to show this video real quick. So Tunde, or could you show this? Dwayne, could you show this video that I sent you guys earlier today? Let's just start this mood off right, man. We gonna shout out to all the gamers, and especially the gamers that need to get a job.
Fuck! Where are all my games? No Dead Rising, no Crackdown, Halo! There's no fucking Halo! There's no way. There's no fucking way. This is all. Get a job.
What the fuck?
Games? Dad, fucking good.
What the hell?
Empty games.
What's going on? Oh no. What the fuck is this about?
Did it say get a job?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Get a life, get a job, get a life.
Get a mower! You've been out of school for 3 months. That doesn't matter. This is what I want to do. I want a game. Well, you want a game, but you got to get a job while you do it too. You're insane. Why are you doing? What are you gonna mow them over? Yeah, I'm gonna mow them over. That way you get out of your room for a little while. Maybe you'll get a job. You've been out of
Why is
school
he
3
clutching his
months.
pearls like that?
It's
Some
gonna be
fucking
my
game.
job. I do it. I'm really good at it. You got student loans. You got car payments. I'm really fucking good at it. Yeah, well, you gotta make money while you're not destroying my game. Oh, pick up while you can. Pick up while you can. Please. This cost me like hundreds of dollars. It's an expensive hobby. I don't care. You gotta get a job. What does this achieve? What does this achieve? What does that achieve? What is this gonna do? Mowing my games over. Maybe you'll quit playing for a while, get a job, pay some of your bills. I'm never gonna quit playing.
Oh. Yo, he ran him over.
You fuck!
Why is he wailing?
Fuck! Fuck you! Fuck
Oh,
you!
God.
Fuck you!
It's okay. GameStop was just like
You want
starting to
your
revamp
fucking-
their.
You want your
Oh,
fucking
shit.
YouTube videos? Oh, you think it's funny?
Oh, little island native over here.
Step the dog shit! Fuck you!
Oh shit!
Oh, god damn.
Fucking psycho! Jesus fucking Christ!
Fucking asshole!
He said, I stepped in dog shit. He's having an all-around bad day.
Hey, wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for
What are
it.
you really gonna do?
Wait for it.
Oh, wow. Why, Sway? Why?
Oh, that
Hey,
is
that's enough, Dwayne.
Why?
Oh, you scoundrel.
Welcome to another episode of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap.
Wait a minute. It's a grown-ass man that graduated from college crying over video games like that?
I don't even know. I think that had to be a skit, man. That had to be a skit because I mean, first off, I think, was that like even the new Xbox? That like does the new Xbox have games like in those green containers? I think they might be old or either dated or was a skit or whatever. But okay, it was an old video that just got brought to my attention, and I think I'm happy that I brought it back. I want to do something real quick, give a couple of shout outs, and then we can get started, man. Mondale, of course, shout out to you and all the amazing work you're doing at Black Male Voter Project. Please go to their website, blackmalevoterproject.org, and like their stuff and follow them around.
We have clothes. We have clothes and stuff for sale too.
Yeah, buy some of their t-shirts. It helps the culture. Shout out to one of our former co-hosts, Jason Johnson. Y'all may like him, y'all may hate him, but that brother actually told me to tell the Trap Squad what's up today. So I decided to just say, and he's been enjoying the replays. So I decided to do that and make sure that Mondale said what's up. And with that being said, Mondale, you got anything? Because we're going to get into it, bro.
Man, I mean, listen, we got a lot of news to cover tonight. It ain't all political news, but it's some. If you are a black man, today is a good day because some black man got exposed. And I really want to talk about that topic for a lot of reasons, but that shit is hilarious to me. The pot calling the kettle black situation when it went down. So I don't know if I'm late to this story, but I saw it in our chain and I know it's down the bottom to cover it. I really want to talk about Derek Jackson.
Well, then we could just go. Let's just go.
Marcus?
Say again, Dwayne. Broke news, ratchet news.
Is that
broke news, ratchet news,
broke news? Yeah.
Yeah. So Derek Jackson, self-proclaimed relationship expert, previously cheated on his wife, and this has been a thing on Black Twitter and is slowly moving its way over into mainstream Twitter, even though I think mainstream Twitter is always behind Black Twitter, but it is a very big thing on Black Twitter right now. Derek Jackson, and that's Jaxn, confirms previously cheating on his wife in a video. Everything that's done in the dark eventually comes to light. This is from, what website is this from? This is from TSR. Everything that's done in the dark eventually comes to light. Last weekend, blogger Tasha K broke the story that self-proclaimed relationship expert Derek Jackson cheated on his wife after denying allegations yesterday. Today, he decided to have a change of... Man, y'all need to get y'all spelling right. Today, he decided to have a change of heart. In a video, seated next to his wife, Dania Jackson, and holding hands, he confirmed that he did previously cheat on his wife. Jackson said that he was involved with another woman and made it clear what he meant. He explained, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about just casually kicking it, maybe for lunch or something like that. I'm talking about serious ass sex, sexual flirtation, and meeting up and all those types of things. He advised that his behavior fell under the umbrella of being inappropriate, cheating, having an affair, stepping out, and was definitely not aligned with the vows that he took or the biblical standard of what it means to be faithful. He continued by saying that he felt the need to share this publicly with his followers because he had already had the conversations about his infidelities with his wife. It is important to let you know that I don't stand by those actions, Derek said, and I don't want to encourage anybody up to do that. Secondly, I know I can't build a platform preaching certain things, preaching against certain things, and then in my real life live contrary to that. Let me tell you something about Derek Jackson before I let Mondale in on this. Derek Jackson.
Ooh, I can't wait.
This child, this guy is one of these guys that are better than thou art.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And Derek Jackson has made himself... Listen, and I don't knock it because what he says, there's a lot of what he says is right about, like, having respect for yourself, women and ladies, but he's real quick to say dump him before he is able to say, stay in a relationship, try to work it out, make these black families work. That's not something that he does. What he does is he amplifies the message of, he's a male voice and he's a male sort of resounder of, okay, you know what? This Negro ain't shit. That's what he's been doing for a while. And when it comes, and so you think he'd be the last person, but we know better than that, Trap Squad. We know better than that, America. You think he'd be the last person that would actually go out of his way and step out?
I'm gonna tell you why this is good news. So many brothers have been drugged or tormented by their wife, girlfriend, or boyfriend or partner, right? Based on this guy's story and this life that he kept trying to portray. Now, I am not one for people hurting people's feelings, but let's keep it a buck real quick. This man made his name off of so-called being the perfect partner, being the perfect spouse. And it was all a fucking lie, man. He said he slept with multiple women. multiple women. And he didn't just tell his fans because he felt like he was living a fraudulent lifestyle, making money off of bullshit that he didn't live by. He told his fucking fans because he was already exposed. Because if you want to tell your fans, it's better you tell them before Tasha K break the news. So get the fuck out of here with that. Furthermore, if you listen to his apology, this is how you know he has no remorse. The day before today, that's yesterday, y'all. For anybody that didn't know, yesterday came before today. Yesterday, that man tried to put out a motherfucking apology that was not an apology. He tried to say he was not married. He was not with his wife. He didn't cheat on his wife. Then today he had to come on with his wife, holding her hand, and he didn't even say I cheated. You know what he said? If you listen to the apology, the motherfucker said, "That's right, Derek Jackson cheated." Talk about himself in the third person. When people talk about themselves in the third person, I automatically think about two people: Donald Trump and Rush Limbaugh. If you remember way back in the days when Rush Limbaugh was going way in on so-called black drug dealers and thugs, and then he got busted. Are we gonna play the video? Can we play these videos? I just want to play the part where he said, "That's right, Derek Jackson cheated." He talked about himself in the third part at the beginning.
I mean, his wife.
And watch how she look at him. Watch how she
she's looking like she's in the sunken place.
No. Watch how she looked at him when he started talking about his self. Like when he just play the first part. Just play the first part, Dwayne. But, all right, well, so anyway, so Rush Limbaugh, way back in the days, not way back in the days, but back when he was living, because he dead now. Anyway, when he was living, he had this
where's our air horn? Repeat that statement one more time.
Yeah, Rush Limbaugh, he no longer live. He's in the land of the dead. Like literally in the land. He's in the dirt. But he kept saying all this shit about black men selling drugs, and then came to find out he got busted with what? 30,000 fucking illegal pills? I don't know one black drug dealer's got 30,000 motherfucking illegal pills. And he got no time in prison. No time in prison. That shit, so whenever I hear people talk about themselves in the third person, it reminds me of those two situations. So to me, this motherfucker is in the same book. Everybody throughout the years, if you have any, conscience about yourself, you'll go back and apologize for all those times you told your partner that their relationship was relationship goals. This is what happened when your goals are based on some shit you see online. You find out the truth, and you didn't got rid of the good dude you had because he wasn't this fake ass acting dude on Instagram or YouTube. Yeah, it's a good day to be a black man.
Mondale, listen. We don't go into relationship stuff much, but I'm gonna say something to Trap Squad real quick. Y'all better love who you love, man, and stop letting social media dictate.
Love the one you with.
Who your partner is, and this includes, man. This includes any sexuality, right?
All of it.
Listen, you can't out anybody, right? But if you're an LGBTQIA person who hasn't came out yet, you have my official permission. You have Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap's official permission to come out whenever the hell you want to. And if somebody gives you a hard time, let us know, and we will do a whole roast session on that person just to make you feel better about it, because that ain't your business. Love who you love. And also, more importantly, stop subscribing to standards that aren't necessarily realistic.
They're not realistic,
so brothers, you're not going to, she might not have the face that you see on the Europeanized face that you see on the movies and on television that the colonizers made us believe was beautiful. She might not have the body that modern society says that is beautiful, which, by the way, changes when a white man says, "This is what I'm attracted to." Don't you think for a second that? Yeah. Don't you think for a second that that you think organically that this fine woman is fine because you think that you've been trained to think that way, right? Sisters, he might not be 6'4", built like iron, built like the Hulk, and make $750,000 a year.
So,
you know what I mean?
So,
like that might not be it, right? and be friends with the person that you're with, man. Like try your hardest to be friends with the person that you're with. I don't give out much relationship advice because I'm pretty much trash with that shit, right? But one thing I do understand is, and I've never had a problem with, is people loving who they love, right? Body positivity is a thing. And you'd be amazed the happiness and the joy that you will find once you let go of what other people are telling you to believe in that your partner should be.
Man,
right?
man.
You know,
Listen,
you'd be amazed how far your relationship grows. So
listen, the boy is a flat earther. Listen, the boy is a flat earther. The boy is a flat earther. But he said some real shit. I'm talking about Kyrie Irving. They was asking him about his perception, like teammates perceive that, you know, you have mood swings. He said, he laughed at the man who asked the question and said, I a long time ago, I gave up giving a fuck about what people's perception of me is, right? Like my happiness, he called the human worrying about other humans' perception of them a major problem in the humanity. And I never thought about it. It absolutely fucking is, bro. Like, if people stop giving a fuck what people think about them, I bet you we have so few wars, problems in general, my nigga. So shout out to Kyrie and Marcus for being on the same goddamn page about people's perspective of you. Be you.
Is that my flat earther thing? That's why you call me a flat earther? No, listen. On the real, I'm gonna give y'all a story real quick, and this ain't got nothing to do with a relationship, but this is just people's perceptions of you. I wear cowboy boots all the time. Now, if you've been watching this show for a second, you know that my shoe game is spectacular. I have a shoe game. I have one of the meanest shoe games that you'll ever run across. Now,
you have a sneaker game.
Yeah, my sneaker game is stupid. My shoe game is really, really dope. And my cowboy
your sneaker game is really, really dope.
Thank you, man. My shoe game is dope too, but I just don't show them all off. Oh, I forgot you've been in my house looking at my shit.
Yeah. She's amazing. I ain't gonna front. Listen, bro, I seen the shoes. This nigga sneaker is almost like I was gonna do an intervention and throw them away and like, we gotta intervene. Marcus got enough sneakers. Marcus got enough sneakers not to wear the same pair of sneakers probably in half a year, and that's absolutely scary.
I could get close to that. I have to stop myself from buying stuff, man. But my cowboy boots are my favorite shoe to wear, and I never forget wearing cowboy boots somewhere. And someone said to me, "Ha ha ha! This nigga got on cowboy boots," and they tried to clown.
Of course.
And
don't call them cowboy boots. They're shit kicking boots.
Yeah, shit kicking boots. And yo, they happen to be these orange ostrich skin boots that I got. And you know, this was and folks, a lot of folks weren't paying attention until he tried to clown me. And then this random white guy comes up to me and says, "Hey man, where'd you get those things from?" And that white man bought me drinks all night long. Now, I don't know if he was trying to get some or not, but he was definitely buying me drinks all night long because my cowboy boots were dope.
Did you go home with him, though?
No, I didn't. Oh. Maybe he was trying to get me drunk so he could, take my boots off me. You're absolutely right.
True story. Hold on. True story about boots. One time, I was at a vineyard. And there was an outdoor concert. It was like, it was classic rock. So like Eagles cover band. I'm sitting out there on the grass, chilling. And this white guy, with his mom and dad was out there, and we started chopping it up. Young guy. Nigga had on some old boots, but I was in love with the motherfuckers. They were all, you know how boots get when they get aged and shit. But man, I love your boots. Yo, at the end of the night, we exchanged shoes, bro. Like real.
Really?
No lie.
Hey, you can never walk in another man's shoes unless you exchange them, ho.
I walked in a white man's shoes before. That's the moral of the story, nigga. I done walked in white man's shoes.
How did it feel?
And I could tell you from a real life perspective, it's a funky place to be.
Hey, real quick. Who Mondale look like? Where was that picture on the Clickbaity Cafe?
Here we go with this shit. We go with this shit.
Hey, now you ready to get the politics now, huh? Now,
time for the politics. And today in the news.
Hey, when you find it, just put it on the screen. The next picture that you see on Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap is going to be Mondale's ancestor. Smoking a hookah, too.
Hey, when somebody posed that shit, I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. I looked again. I was like, man, maybe that nigga related to me. It's like, that motherfucker nose look wide like mine. I was like, all right, maybe.
Dennis, what's up, Dennis? Dennis says some Sia collective is coming out with their shoes. When? Put that back up. Put that back up. Some Sia collective sneakers dropping Saturday. Black-owned sneaker company, super dope. Hey, Dennis, find that website, throw it up on the and we can throw it up. But hey, look, check this out. Look at Mondale Robinson's ancestor. I mean, with the hookah and all that, it's like he shaved.
That shit,
you know
crazy.
what I'm talking about? But if that brother didn't shave right there,
that's got to be my third cousin twice removed.
That looked like Eddie Murphy saying this was the best looking of all of all
Hey,
of them.
Dwayne, show me the comments, Dwayne, because if one white person say anything, I'm gonna fucking flip.
Nah. White people feel free to compliment our dear ancestor.
Yeah, feel free to compliment
Mondale Moonsa.
Mondale Moonsa. The first hookah smoker. This nigga had. Why this nigga pipe so long, bro?
Hey, listen. Whatever it is, I bet you it's that good. Look at him. He in that deep inhale. Hey, Mondale, pause for a second. Everybody screenshot this right here. Let's go side by side real quick. And then I promise you we're going to get to the news. Let's go side by side real quick. Mondale Moonsa and Mondale Robinson.
Hey, Marcus, you know what that was? Before slavery and after slavery.
That's right.
Let's do it, man. Let's talk politics, man. That shit make my soul itch.
Let's go, man. Okay. Hey, listen, we were talking about DC Statehood. We were talking about DC Statehood last night. And this is very important, right? Because, again, we told you that we would be talking about DC Statehood a little bit more this week. And I'm not done. And thanks to our producers for Dwayne and Tunde for bringing this back up. So DC Statehood, this is a stupid defense against DC Statehood. GOP senators' attack on Washington, D.C. statehood spectacularly backfires. Senator Mike Rounds doesn't seem to know his own state's history. Senator Mike Rounds, this is from Huffington Post, the great Huffington Post. I do like their stuff. Ariana Huffington. Senator Mike Rounds, Republican South Dakota, on Monday tried to make the case against statehood for Washington, D.C., but gave his own state's history, and it didn't go well. Rounds tweeted, "The founding fathers never intended for the Washington, D.C. to be a state. D.C. statehood is really about packing the Senate with Democrats in order to pass a left-wing agenda. Just look at the D.C. voter registration data. 76.4% Democrat, 5.7% Republican."
Somebody take this motherfucking math.
Listen. Round's tweet appeared the day after a non-sequitur attack against D.C. statehood, such as the weird and false claim by Representative Jody Heiss, representative out of Georgia, that it would be the only state without an auto dealership.
Yo, I cannot right now.
I'm trying to finish reading this shit. Hey, people that come here to watch us
can't get no
laugh,
trucks in that city. Can't get no trucks there. And for him to be in DC all the goddamn time as a representative, clearly he's never been to Chinatown because there's a Tesla dealership right in Chinatown. But anyway, keep going.
The U.S. Constitution does not mention auto dealerships as a condition for statehood.
Sure it does.
Many
it's
were
right
quick to remind Rounds that
right
the founders
there beside horse rental.
Many were quick to remind Rounds that the founders didn't particularly envision statehood for any form of Dakota at all, much less a South Dakota. And in the years prior to his official admission to the two states, there was just one Dakota, the Dakota Territory. One reason it was split just before admission was to give Republicans 2 more Senate seats, including the one that Round now occupies. around critics on Twitter shared a few other facts about what the founding fathers intended. The founding fathers also never intended for there to be a Dakota territory split in two. The only reason it's around
or for us to be free. Or for us to be free. Man, fuck the founding fathers. Them niggas was white racist.
Hey, Sister Jamel Hill says, they also never intended for black people to be counted as citizens or human beings, for women to vote, and for anyone who wasn't white man to own property. Pro tip, compete for votes with better ideas instead of creating agendas based on alienation and hatred. And she's absolutely right. Listen.
Why would they ever do that? They would just lose,
man.
Because listen, if the Republicans shared their racism and their racist way of politicking, they wouldn't be a fucking party, bro. Like right now, and this is not to say that conservative values don't have a place in society. I'm all for the differences of opinions. If you believe conservative values, bring them to the table. But this idea of what Republican Party has become right now, anybody saying anything other than racism is bullshit. You know, you've been asleep for quite some time. Their entire idea, the dude literally said about the John Lewis Act that if it passed, it's the end of the Republican Party. Why? Why would more people vote and be the end of your party? Because your party is based on restricting people's access to freedom, to complete citizenship. The fact that you are afraid that more people may participate in democracy is absolutely hilarious to me. Beyond hilarious, it's telling. It's telling. And unless we call it out just like that, you shouldn't be negotiating with this. That statement from the Georgia representative or from the representative from fucking North Dakota, South Dakota, whichever Dakota, is prime reason that not only do we need automatic voter registration in this country, but we also need to expand the idea of citizenship to anybody that's in this fucking country. That's how I feel.
Hey man, I'm with you, but actually, yes, I agree wholeheartly, and I'm not going to be on some BS Hotep bullshit. And I say Hotep, I don't mean Hotep, BS, anti-positive black person BS, where it's like the immigrants are taking our jobs. You want to say Mexican immigrants, but you don't know that, you know, there's black immigrants also. And guess what? They're taking jobs that your ass ain't never even thought about applying for. Sit your ass down somewhere. Let me back up for a second. This is about DC statehood, but his comments makes me think about a whole nother topic. Trap Squad, that topic is this. Run for office. Don't let nobody on the planet tell you that you cannot be a U.S. senator. Because we got some of the dumbest motherfuckers with power right now in DC. That was an organic statement that senator made. It was organic. He was trying to be catchy. He was trying to be, have a, this white boy, I gotcha moment. I gotcha, smug. And he came off as an idiot. And I've seen more policy comments out of the Trap Squad chat box and inbox than I've seen out of politicians in DC. And I know it costs a lot of money, but this moment right here should let you know that you are more than capable, any one of you are more than capable of running for office and winning. Because this motherfucker's an idiot. That's all I got.
All I'm going to add, Marcus, is conservative. No. All I'm going to add is conservatives shouldn't be allowed to date. If you are a Republican, if you are a registered Republican, it should be illegal for you to be on a date. Restaurants should start checking your fucking card. Hotels should, especially if you're checking in with another person, because you might make a baby, and we don't need any more fucking Republicans. Period. Not the current.
Also, they shouldn't have They shouldn't own guns either.
If you're a Republican, you can't own guns.
If you're a Republican, you can't own guns.
And you shouldn't live in states with car dealerships.
If you're a Republican, you can't own guns and have car dealerships, and also practice medicine. You can't practice medicine either if you're a conservative.
speaking of practicing medicine, listen, I'm so fucking pissed off that people keep saying, well, Rand Paul's got a point. He's a doctor. No, that nigga check eyes. He don't know shit about fucking coronavirus. Don't tell me what Rand Paul said about fucking corona. That nigga check eyes, bro. That's like me telling you that the OBGYN said something about my penis. I don't give a fuck what the OBGYN said about my penis. It's the wrong fucking field, homeboy. Shit is ridiculous. I am so beyond our politics. The current state of American politics is so disgusting. Let's just say it, bro. This is why I enjoy Kenyan TV. If you listen, when I'm in America, most of my news come from YouTube, from Kenyan TV, because it is so adult. Like the way that they cover the news over there, the shit that we call news here is entertainment over there. It's like reality TV. But in Kenya, man, 16-year-olds got a better fucking understanding of what their democracy looks like than we do here. Because we appease these dumbass Republicans and we don't call them dumbasses enough to their face.
You can't be a Republican. You can't be that, Mondale.
Yeah, you can't be a Republican right now and tell me that your party is that you're proud of your fucking party. You just can't. It's too many elected officials that got organic thoughts, like Marcus said, that are dumb as fuck, filled with vitriol, hate, and racism. The man said we can't be a fucking state in DC where I am right now, Marcus. Guess why? Because they ain't got no fucking Ford dealership. What the fuck is going on?
Okay, you ready for the next one? Let's go.
Oh,
Mail. Listen. Mail. This guy, Louis DeJoy, the Postmaster General, he's been problematic. And I want to let y'all understand something. This is how much they want to privatize everything, and this is how much that government doesn't want to come anywhere close to democratic socialism. Because you know your mail is socialist, right? Did you know that, guys? Did you know that, America? Mail, the U.S. mail is a socialist program. It's actually one of the most successful democratic socialist programs on Earth. The U.S. mail is one of the most successful democratic socialistic programs on the planet. Now, since we're used to it, since it happened, it's become so normalized that even Republicans are willing to take that version of democratic socialism to a point. Because, you know, capitalism is a motherfucker in America. Capitalism will make people say, well, what else can we make money from? Holy crap. We could end mail. And they've already done their best to do that. I mean, Amazon, and between Amazon and UPS, and I mean, and don't get me wrong, those organizations have their place. Not Amazon. Amazon's a hot mess. But mail, man, they want to privatize mail. They want to privatize mail because mail is actually working. And I'm going to ask y'all a question real quick. Besides maybe, you know, the negative connotation of people going postal, because I heard that wasn't the right thing to say. Besides that negative connotation of someone possibly going postal, right? What has the mail done bad to you? What has the mailman done bad to you? I know the tropes, you know, the mailman comes in and sleeps with a housewife at home. But honestly, man, mail is probably one of the most consistent, U.S. Postal Service is probably one of the most consistent government programs that we've seen in our lives. Not much drama comes from the mail. You know, you get up in the morning, you go check your paper, or you come out, get off work, you go to your mailbox, and there's your mail. And then sometimes when you go home for lunch or have a break, you see the mail person walking down the street. And you might even know your mail person. I knew my mail person growing up. One of my best friends from high school and elementary school, he's a mailman now. He's going on 20 years. Consistent jobs, not necessarily as racist. I mean, I heard some postmaster stories, but like, you know, not the most racist organization in the world. Right? Mail. And now, like nobody asks for the mail to be messed with. Nobody. But out of the blue, slower mail, fewer office hours, part of postal service plans. This guy, Postmaster General Louis DeJoy on Tuesday announced plans to slow mail delivery standards and cut hours at some post office as a 10-year strategy to stabilize the struggling agency. Details of the long-awaited plan come at a time of tense scrutiny on the U.S. Postal Service over persistent delivery delays under DeJoy, a major GOP donor who took over the agency last summer. The plan also includes a proposal to consolidate the underused post offices, hinting at a potential postal rate increase and detailed investments in a new delivery vehicles, among other things. Before we move on this article, I have to say this, and I have to say this very quickly. First off, Bernie Sanders was right. We need to make the post offices public banks. We can go into that later on. You know, post offices should turn into a banking organization. I think that was a wonderful idea that Senator Sanders had. But secondly,
hold on, Marcus.
GOP donor becomes the Postmaster General.
Hold on. Because I think this is not you being arrogant, but people might misunderstand not just how fucking important the post office is and how successful the post office is. They also may misunderstand what you're saying because you're giving motherfuckers jewels right now, but they're not really understanding them because people will be like, well, the post office is broke when they're losing money. Let's get to the real, right? The post office actually does not lose fucking money, man. The post office is successful as fuck. The reason the post office, hold on one second. Hold on one second, G. Hold on one second. The reason the post office is losing money, let's be a buck right quick, Marcus. Let's keep it a buck. 2005, it's Congress fucking fault. Republicans had control of the Congress, and they did some shit to try to break the post office so they can prioritize fucking the post office. This ain't the first time they tried it. They've been trying it, right? They want the post office to look inefficient and also like it's costing the government money. The post office is supposed to be self-sustaining and bringing its own money, and it can do that. But what happened was in 2005, I think that was the year, y'all check me because I know y'all will. But they told the fucking Congress passed a bill that said post office has to prepay all of its retirees' benefits. Nobody fucking prepays their benefits for retirees. Now you think about how long the post office has been in existence and how many fucking retirees it has. And because they have to prepay that money up front, it takes the money out of the fucking the organization and the ability to run that organization like in a sustainable way. We don't talk about that shit and we act like that's a small thing. Not a business in this world is subjected to what the post office is because the Republican Congress tried to fucking break the post office so they can prioritize it. I just wanted to say that. Now go ahead, Marcus.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, thank you for breaking that down because that's necessary, man. Like the post office shows up. They deliver. I mean, if there's one function of the American government that has worked, it's been the post office. Hell, y'all got to think about this, man. Like, we can't even vote right, but the organization that takes our votes by mail and puts them where they're supposed to be works right. Even in a quote unquote broken system, the post office works right. So here's my conspiracy theory hat. Here's my and for all you motherfuckers be talking about FedEx and on UPS, don't forget that they sometimes use motherfucking the post office for rural addresses as well. Y'all might not know that. Post office. Listen, but here's my thing. Republicans want to destroy the post office for more than that. Republicans want to destroy the post office so it can make you harder to vote by mail. If something happens to the post office, you can guarantee that you're going to have to spend a couple of extra bucks to try to get your vote by mail ballot in to the supervisory elections.
Listen, all this shit's connected, Marcus. The Republicans in these 235 bills that's been proposed to restrict people's access to the ballot and also to make voting by mail harder and also what the fuck the Joy is doing. All this shit's connected. So you're absolutely right. It's going to be extremely hard to use the post office as a fucking tool to pass your ballot to them if you don't have access to the polls, or if you just want to use voting by mail. This is not small, and people shouldn't. We should do a whole fucking show on the post office and the necessary role it plays in our democracy, bro. Because when you call it socialism, people need to understand the success of socialism. Because outside of people will be like, "Oh, I've never seen a socialist society that was successful." Well, I can say the same thing about capitalism, right? Because capitalism is a fucked up system. But the post office, the United States Post Office, is a extremely fucking successful entity that people undermine and downplay for reasons that's not even necessary, because all of its hiccups are based on our elected officials whenever Republicans are in power, and Democrats get in power, then don't correct what Republicans did in the previous administration or the previous Congress. And that is fucked up that we judge this entity this way. And the fact that right now we have a fucking Republican donor, leading donor, large donor, controlling this entity, and Joe Biden and the rest of the fucking Democrats in Washington are dragging their feet on expanding the board so we can fire this motherfucker, because the only way you can fire the Joy is if the board fires him. But right now we don't have enough fucking members to fire him. It's absolutely disgusting, bro, and it hinders people. Oh, by the way, beyond voting, because y'all might say that's partisan and political, beyond voting, I know poor black people to get their medicine through the mail. Their medicine comes through the mail, hold on. And you fucking with that.
I'm gonna break in and say, black people getting their medicine is partisan. What are you talking about?
You're right, bro. Unfortunately,
I know you're not acting like these Republicans are humanitarians around this bitch.
Wow. And as Marcus, I need you to say that again, because that's sad as fuck, bro.
Yeah, like black people getting their medicine is partisan. What are you talking about? We're not supposed to be in a situation where we actually get healthy, right? Matter of fact, I wish you wouldn't have said that on Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, because them Republicans will watch this show and be like, "Oh yeah, we forgot about that. We can kill niggas." You watching Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. We're going to take a break. Mondale, where can they find you at, brother?
Find me on Mondale. Find me at Mondale Robinson everywhere. But what's most important, bigger than me, there are black people that care about black people in the world. Go follow Black Male Voter Project. But right after you follow Black Male Voter Project, please go follow Black Voters Matter. Man, I love what Cliff and Wanda. People don't talk about Wanda enough in that organization. We love Cliff and we love Latasha. We do. We love both of them. But Wanda is a motherfucking political monster that I love being next to in organization and work. So go follow Black Voters Matter, because they're doing the work, and their business model is not to keep all the money they receive from donors, is to give it to black organizations, even if they're not an entity that's recognized by the IRS, which means that they're not formed. They're not an NGO. They're not a nonprofit. They're not a anything but black people doing work in the communities. So we got to support organizations like that. So yeah, man, follow me, but fuck me right now. Go follow Black Voters Matter, Black Male Voters Project, and Marcus and what he's trying to do with the cannabis industry as well. Marcus, where can they find you?
RestorativeRoots.net. And we're doing some expanding. Y'all will be happy to find out that we got swag coming, and we have we also moved into sort of the cannabis real estate in business. But I'll get more into that as things develop. For right now, you can follow me at Marcus for America on Instagram and Twitter. Follow Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap on Patreon, and make sure that you tell people about this show.
Marcus, wait, man. Why not every night? This is getting on my nerves, bro. I'm really starting to call you a fucking bad parent, bro. Where the fuck?
Yes, and also follow Wody Bobo. WHODIEBOBO on Instagram. And also, one more thing. If you can't watch this live, we know we got some podcasters out there. You can follow us on our podcast. Please follow us on our podcast. We're on every single major podcast streaming service, and we'll be back. Give us about a minute 15. Peace.
Peace.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard. Every single weeknight, unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
America is a bunch of democratic socialists. Every time it goes to the mailbox, you are a democratic socialist. Republicans don't like feeling that way. But that's democratic socialism. Don't get it confused. If you see maintenance on your highway, that's democratic socialism. That's all I'm going to say. We'll get back to the basics real quick. My brother Mondale took off for a second, but I think he'll be back. He's handling a couple of things, but you know he'll be back. I'm going to go into a little bit of politics, and Sidney Powell argues. Sidney Powell, the infamous or famous conservative lawyer, argues in a new court filing that there are no reasonable people would believe her election fraud claims. Right-wing lawyer Sidney Powell is now claiming in a new court filing that reasonable people wouldn't have believed as fact her assertions of fraud after the 2020 presidential election. The election infrastructure company Dominion Voting System sued Powell for defamation after she pushed lawsuits made appearances in conservative media on behalf of then President Trump to sow doubt. This is from CNN. To sow doubt about the 2020 election results. Dominion claims that Powell knew her election fraud accusations were false and hurtful to the company. In a new court filing, Powell's attorneys write that she was sharing her opinion and that the public could reach their own conclusions about whether votes were being changed by election machines. Given the highly charged political context of the statements, it is clear that Powell was describing the facts on which she based the lawsuits she filed in support of President Donald Trump. Indeed, plans themselves characterize the statements at issue as wild accusations and outlandish claims. They are repeatedly labeled as incoherently improbable or even impossible. Such characterizations of these allegedly defamatory statements further support defendants' position that reasonable people would not accept such statements as fact, but only view them as claims that await testing by the courts through the adversary process. Okay. Before I go on to this one right here, let's watch this clip because there's a lot to break down.
Sydney, at the outset of this broadcast, I said that this is the culmination of what has been over a 4-year effort to overthrow this president, to first deny his candidacy, the election, but then to overthrow his presidency. This looks like the effort to carry out an end game in the effort against him. Do you concur?
Oh, absolutely, and it's been organized and conducted with the help of Silicon Valley people, the big tech companies, the social media companies, and even the media companies. And I'm going to release the Kraken.
What? Are we cracking? What the fuck? What is this? Like, man, put you will not, Dwayne. you will never take an opportunity.
No, don't blame Dwayne on that. Blame that white lady.
Hold on,
stop blaming black people for white people.
Stop. Marcus, let me finish. Dwayne, you will never take an opportunity like this away from me. Dwayne, put her picture back up there and just pause it and let me go in on that hair. Put that shit back up immediately.
Hey, yo, her hair looks like Donald Trump.
I was about to say she got the wife of Donald Trump's wig. That shit came from the female version of the ass that Donald Trump stole his hair from. This is ridiculous. And that leopard shirt under that white blazer in the middle of the winter is absolutely faux pas. That shit is disgusting.
Shit like a hairy pompadour.
She looked like death warmed over. I am so angry that this motherfucker thinks she can go on a news show and spread this shit. And then people are to believe you can take these white people down now. And are to believe that we're not.
Go ahead, Mondale.
You good, Marcus? What happened? Oh. Yeah, so no, listen. Lou Dobbs is shit anyway. The fact that this woman is in court arguing. So for people that don't know, reasonable person is the standard you need to meet in law to make anything work, right? So in law school, we always talk about the reasonable person. The reasonable person is not the average person. It's the reasonable person. This reasonable person is not a real person. It's a proverbial person. And this is lawyer speak for her trying to get out of this shit and saying that no one was supposed to believe her, meaning that she has all the faith in the world, and so should all of Americans in our election process. And because this is a lawyer that Donald Trump hired for his shit to defend him, she's also saying that Donald Trump's cases were bullshit, which also means that when these excuse me, when these legal entities, meaning the DAs, the attorney generals in these other states, Georgia, DC, and New York, are challenging Donald Trump for trying to challenge their election results, he knowingly incited this goddamn riot that happened January 6th. And her statement basically sounds like a foundation for a case against him for that bullshit, because she said no reasonable person would believe it, which means Donald Trump shouldn't have believed it. And also, which means he should have.
It's all fun and games until you put $1 billion on your head. Until they put $1 billion on your head. It's all fun and it's all fun and games until, like, okay, I'm gonna have to suffer for trying to like get ahead in a fascist administration. Like we are seeing 1950s Argentina right now, where people are going to hide,
that disappeared,
where Nazis are going to hide, and all the Nazis now they're hiding on Fox News, right? Trying to create these narratives, right? Fox News is Argentina of 1950s, right? Let's just say that, except there's no brown people whatsoever, right? And where I'm going with this is very simple, right? Like, if she's trying to lose anything, if anything is happening right now, it is the fact that Republicans can no longer make a single positive argument, because you need to be a reasonable person to believe anything that they say. If you support Matt Gaetz, you need to be a reasonable person to believe anything that comes out of Matt Gaetz's mouth. If you support Rudy Giuliani, if you support any of the senators that voted against impeaching Donald Trump, if you support any of the state elected officials that try to push narratives in state houses around the country that Donald Trump, the election should be overturned on a statewide level, and Rudy Giuliani stood in front of those state houses and those state investigative hearings, and if you believe in any of that, you're not a reasonable person. Because if
and also, guess what, Marcus? And guess what else? Everybody that showed up on January 5th, January 6th, is an unreasonable person.
Every single person who showed up, right? So is an unreasonable person.
And Marcus, hold on, we're talking about sedition here, because she just laid the foundation for the argument. Thank you so much for that, Miss Buffont. This is what's important from this, Marcus. And you can't just say shit that's meant to be fleshed out because it's a book waiting to be written. and then don't deal in it. You said 1950s Argentina. Listen, if y'all don't know what's going on in Argentina in the 50s, then let me break it down, because Marcus said something that's spot on, and the fact that they're hiding on Fox News is a perfect fucking analogy. Because in the 50s, from 1950 through the 60s of Argentina, we know what was going on. It was a multitude of coup d'etats or attempted coup d'etats to overthrow motherfucking governments, duly elected governments by powerful people in power. So the fact, Marcus, that you called it that was spot on, and I don't think we should dance around that without the Trap Squad understanding what you just said.
Well, actually, yeah, I said it. I read a couple of books. Every now and then I got a little history behind me, Mondale. So we can go into it. First off, 1950s Argentina was the rest haven for who? Was the rest haven for who? It was the rest haven for Nazis war criminals.
And strongmen.
And strongmen. And the SS. And there are German towns right now that are named, racist German towns that are named after German individuals in Argentina to this day. Now the Argentinian government has done their best.
There's a program in America's government that's named after a fucking German Nazi scientist, but we ain't gonna go there, are we? Because that'll be criticized. That'll be criticizing NASA, wouldn't it?
Now, Mondale, you can go deeper. I want you to go deeper into the coups.
I just mean, like, people just got to know, like, I'm talking about this predates Pinochet and all of those motherfuckers in Argentina, right? Like, so when you talk about what's going on in America right now and what was attempted in January the 6th, and we downplay it because we look at other governments and other states, and by states I don't mean Georgia and North Carolina. I mean the reason we name states is because these are supposed to be individual entities, right? Everywhere else in the world, a state means country. Americans don't get that. Americans can't grasp that. But states, we had 50 individual states, who basically was saying that we had 50 individual countries, right? So anyway, that's a long story. We ain't ready.
I don't think there's enough shame from the white community about the Trump administration and everything that they did. Yeah, our white people. Now I say our black people. That was a pun, guys. Don't take that too seriously. But white folks on the right side of the house, y'all ain't got no pull. And more neutral white folks, they don't feel any shame about the Trump administration, because some of them actually feel like, you know what? They were kind of right. I always wanted to go up to the Capitol and tell them that they need to do something about all these black people, because that's what they assert that to. Like, until there's a tangible amount of shame. Well, also, shame also comes from losing a war, too. Let's get that correct. And there's a war, and we need to create a war on white supremacy. That's what I want Joe Biden to say. That's the next American war. That's it. That's the next American war. The next American war is not a war on terrorism. It's not a war against some black or brown country. It's a war on white supremacy. Let's declare war on that shit. What y'all think, Trap Squad? Can we declare war on white supremacy? Can it be an official thing? Can we get a resolution passed that we're at war with white supremacy?
Marcus, now you're sounding like a seditionist. Let me tell you why.
Okay, I'll take that.
I'm with you on it too. To wage war on white supremacy in America is to wage war on America.
Ooh.
Tell me one aspect of our government or the entities that run this country, not just the federal government, but states too, that's not grounded in racism, not built out of black death, black sacrifice, and the exploitation of black people,
or indigenous,
and brown. I mean, the Chinese Exclusionary Act is a real fucking thing. The motherfucking the marijuana laws, and the reason that marijuana is illegal is directly tied to Mexican immigration way back in the I don't know, one of the decades, 60s or the 50s. People need to check that out too. But yes, Marcus. I mean, and this is not me talking. This is not hyperbole, bro. To wage war on white supremacy is to wage war on America. To wage war on America, and not just the government entities, the business. Look at football, NFL. Look at NBA. Look at anything that Black people participate in, and look at the maltreatment of my people in those industries and also entities. And you'll see why white supremacy is not something you could just go to war with lightly. And America is never prepared to go to war with herself. When white supremacists are upset, patriotism go the fuck out the window, i.e. January 6th, i.e.
That's right. That's right.
George Washington.
Okay.
Motherfuckers took pride in George Washington, bro, and the goddamn Revolutionary War, where a motherfucker said, give me liberty or give me death. And they weren't even the slaves. We were slaves. But they didn't see the plight of Black people as being equal to that and the taxation without representation for white folk in Britain. Yeah, man. You just call for something that America is not prepared. If you think they're not ready for reparations and Rep 1 Marcus, you know goddamn well they're not ready for the wage of war on white supremacy. We had a war on poverty and more people got hungry. We had a war on crime and more people became criminal. We had a war.
If we have a war on white supremacy, more people become racist.
More people will be exposed to their racism.
Hey man, I'm gonna go to pop culture for a second, and it might seem like I'm changing topics, but it's not, because you just made me think of something that that me and our dear brother Jason Johnson was having a conversation about right before this show. And man, racism in America is in everything. Racism in America is in every single thing that we do. And what I'm going to bring up is the Josh Snyder, the Snyder version of the Justice League, the 4-hour version of the Justice League that just came out, the reshoot of it, not the Whedon version, but the Snyder version of it. And I was talking to this with Dwayne and Tunde earlier, talking about this earlier, and one of the biggest revelations on that movie was the character of Cyborg. If you watch the Whedon version of the Justice League, you think Cyborg was a sidekick. But if you watch the Snyder version of the Justice League, the one that's on HBO Max right now, and the one that I think came out, whatever, you'll see that the Black character, Cyborg, was not, if not the main character, definitely top tier main characters. And the actor that would have played him probably would have been on the same level as some of the major Black actors that were in Black Panther right now. He had a major role that was cut down to like sidekick role. And here's the stories behind that. And this is why I want to say racism isn't everything. So Whedon, the original director, and the actor that played Cyborg, would y'all please find his name for me, Dwayne Tunde, the actor that played Cyborg. The original
Marcus,
argument that started, what's his name?
Hold on, what's the name?
Ray Fisher. So this is one of the biggest movies ever made. One of the largest movies in America, one of the biggest and most expensive budgets in American history was spent on this movie. And it would have called, and Ray Fisher would have been a household name at this point if racist ass Whedon didn't have beef with him and basically cut him out of his version completely. And here's how the argument started with these two folks. Y'all are going to trip out, Trap Squad. See, in the movie Cyborg, before he became Cyborg, he was a famous football player. And in the initial script, guess what position Cyborg was supposed to play? Ray Fisher was supposed to play. He was supposed to play quarterback.
Why did stop that?
Hold on. Whedon says, nah, I don't want you to play quarterback. I think you should be wide receiver. You mean to tell me that we can't avoid racist tropes even in the movies, even in fake world? That's right, folks. So even though folks are like, it's still not the best movie in the world, I got to tell you something that I really truly believe. Just hearing that story lets me know that white supremacy is real, and lets me know after seeing all of the action and all the extra clips that Cyborg had in this major movie that just recently came out, in the Josh Snyder version of in the Snyder version of it. It makes me like that version way more because, you know, they actually showed all the versions of a black actor and he was a part of the universe and he was there with the universe. I mean, we had Jason Momoa, who's a person of color also, but to have a young black man actually be a superhero in any movie always makes me feel good. So I just wanted to point out that even we can't escape racism in America. That's why there needs to be a war on white supremacy from the government, not from Marcus.
Marlon Briscoe, bro. You know who that is. Marlon Briscoe was the first black quarterback ever first black quarterback ever drafted.
Drafted, yeah.
Into the NFL, right? 14th round, and went 14th round because he was black. They wouldn't let him play. He played quarterback like 1 or 2 times. And the reason he wouldn't play because he was black. They wouldn't let him play, right? Marcus, you know more about this than me. This is the AFL before the NFL. And the only reason he got in the game is because the starting quarterback, the white boy, got hurt. When he got hurt, Marlon Briscoe won that game and also threw for a fucking unbelievable amount of yards and also touchdowns. But they never let him play that position again, or very few times. And it's what you're talking about is real. We know what they think. They think the quarterback is a thinking game. And you must know plays. You must understand defenses. You must be able to see defenses and be able to change on the fly. I don't know much about foosball. You know that. This is your thing. But what I'm saying is there's some serious detriment to what happened to Marlon Brando, and also as an analogy to America and how she treats black people in general. The NFL is a fucking problem, and sports in general, and these racist tropes that you're talking about that exist in Hollywood, we know they're real. Eddie Murphy just told us that they made him put a white actor
in the original Coming to America. It paused on something good. Clip that. Sex and chocolate. Sexual blackness. Hey, ladies, y'all like that right there? Hey, fellas, y'all like that right there? Let me put on some mood music real quick. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, this is 90s music. Doom. Oh, it's Mondale. Doom, doom, doom. 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 They call me Sexy Beard. Doom, doom, doom. Doom. Doom.
That's that bullshit, ain't it? That's that bullshit, ain't it? That's that bullshit. Fuck the white world and the internet. Yo, fuck the internet, man. All I was gonna say was it's a wonderful analogy of the racism that exists in our society and how people don't say it. I also need to correct myself because I need to check my patriarchy because I was showing it earlier. I fell into the space that men usually do. When something is bad, men usually say women. I refer to America as a woman, or I said herself. America going to war with herself. America can't be a
I was about to say, I think that's more.
I got it. Listen,
okay.
Somebody text me and I'm checking it right now. America is not a woman. Because if she was, she'd be way smarter than this. It has to be, America has to be a fucking patriotic male. Disgusting, sexist, racist, misogynistic motherfucking man. I said it.
That's right. Every time we bring up patriarchy, it should be considered that. I mean, so when we talking about how Republicans like react to things, right? Like, man, first off, in any defense in any court, with a black person, they wouldn't be able to say what they just said, any reasonable person, because reason flies out the window when you see black skin. That's it. Reason just flies completely out the window when you see black skin. And it doesn't necessarily, but this white lady who worked for the Trump administration can use reason and reasonable people as a defense to get her ass off. And I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't pay a dime, because that's just the way it works. But this is now 9:57, and we're going to close this thing out. Mondale, let me just go ahead and say, like,
Marcus,
please share.
hold on. I had the last words for the last two shows. Let me let you get the last word this evening. But let me just finish by saying this. Listen, y'all, I know y'all going to go back to the idea that we always talk about racism and it's supposed to be a political show. To discount the role that racism plays in our politics is to be not concerned with the Black plight in this country. And it's detrimental to our existence. So you all need to get to where me and Marcus is, where anytime you're talking about politics, you're pointing out racism. Because if you're not doing it completely correct. You're doing it like CNN and MSNBC. Let's fix that shit and point out the racism, even if it hurts you to talk about it. Go ahead, Marcus.
French vanilla, Rocky Road, chocolate, peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop, there it is. Scoop, there it is. Scoop, chaka-laka, 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 chaka. Scoop, chaka-laka, chaka-laka, chaka. Peace out. Great episode of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let our voice be heard. Every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, thirst trap. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you